Ada, I want us to try that thing. What thing, Chidi? You know, that thing we saw in the video. It looks nice and it's making me feel some way. Yes, Chidi, I'm also feeling some way, but it's not good. Come on, Ada. It's just us. No one will know. Reluctantly, Ada agreed. Their first attempt was awkward and uncomfortable. Ada felt a sharp pain and quickly told Chidi to stop. Chidi Okonkwo, a lanky 12-year-old with a mop of curly hair and curious mind, was the only child of Mr. and Mrs. Okonkwo. He was a bright boy, but his grades in mathematics had been slipping lately. Every evening, he would sit at the dining table, his textbook spread out, staring at the problems he couldn't solve. His father, Mr. Okonkwo, was a stern but loving man who had worked long hours as an accountant. His mother, a nurse, worked night shifts, leaving Chidi to fend for himself most evenings. One particularly grueling evening, Chidi waited for his father, clutching his math textbook. The clock ticked past 9 p.m. and the sound of the front door opening finally broke the silence. Mr. Okonkwo walked in, his shoulders slumped and his tie loosened. He looked exhausted. "Dad, can you help me with this problem?" Chidi asked, his voice tinged with desperation. "I don't understand it, and it's due tomorrow." Mr. Okonkwo sighed, rubbing his temples. "Chidi, I'm sorry. I've had a long day and I'm very tired. Can't this wait until tomorrow?" "But Dad, it's due tomorrow," Chidi insisted, his voice rising. "I've been stuck on this for hours." Mr. Okonkwo's patience wore thin. "Chidi, I'm tired. I can't help you right now. You need to figure it out yourself." Chidi's face fell. He slammed his textbook shut and stormed off to his room, muttering under his breath. Mr. Okonkwo watched him go, a pang of guilt tugging at his heart. He knew he wasn't giving Chidi the attention he needed, but his demanding job left him with little energy for anything else. The next morning, Mr. Okonkwo woke up with a heavy heart. He replayed the previous night's argument in his mind, feeling a mix of frustration and guilt. Over breakfast, he tried to make amends. "Chidi, about last night, I'm sorry I couldn't help you. I've been thinking, and I have an idea." Chidi looked up from his plate, his curiosity piqued. "What idea, Dad?" That evening, when Mr. Okonkwo returned from work, he reached into his bag and pulled out a sleek new smartphone. "This is for you," he said, handing the phone to Chidi. "It's not just for games or social media. There are educational apps and videos that can explain things better than I can. You can use it to study, research, and even join online study groups," Mr. Okonkwo said. Chidi's eyes widened with excitement. He had never owned a phone before. "Thank you, Dad," he exclaimed, clutching his device like a treasure. Mr. Okonkwo smiled, but his expression quickly turned serious. "Remember, Chidi, this is not a tool, not a toy. Use it responsibly, and no social media or games until your homework is done. Understood?" Chidi nodded eagerly. "Understood, Dad. I promise I will use it wisely." That evening, Chidi sat at his table with his new phone, exploring the educational app that his father had recommended. He watched tutorial videos, solved practice questions, and even joined an online study group. For the first time in weeks, he felt confident about his math homework. When he finished, he proudly showed his work to his father. "See, Dad, I figured it out," Chidi said, beaming. Mr. Okonkwo patted him on the back. "I told you it would help. Just remember to use it responsibly, okay?" For a while, everything seemed perfect. Chidi's grades improved, and his father was pleased. But beneath the surface, a storm was brewing. The phone, with its endless possibilities, was a double-edged sword, and Chidi, with his insatiable curiosity, was about to discover just how sharp the edge could be. For the first few weeks, Chidi used the phone exactly as his father had intended. He downloaded educational apps, watched tutorial videos, and even joined an online study group where students from different schools helped each other with their homework. His grades improved, and his teachers noticed a change in his attitude. "Chidi, you've been doing so well lately," his math teacher said one afternoon. "Keep it up." Chidi beamed with pride. He couldn't wait to show his father his latest test score. That evening, immediately Mr. Okonkwo arrived, Chidi eagerly showed his test score to him. "Well done, Chidi," his father said. "I know that phone would help you." But as the days went by, Chidi began to explore beyond the educational apps. One evening, while searching for a video to explain a tricky algebra problem, he accidentally clicked on a link that led him to a website he had never seen before. The page was filled with flashy banners and thumbnails of videos that made his heart race. One thumbnail in particular caught his eye. A woman in a revealing outfit, her face partially hidden by shadows. The title beneath the image was cryptic but intriguing. Chidi's finger hovered over the screen. He knew he shouldn't click on it. His father's warning echoed in his mind. Use it responsibly. But curiosity got the better of him. He tapped the thumbnail and the video began to play. At first, Chidi did not understand what he was seeing. The images on the screen were confusing, even shocking. His face burned with embarrassment, and his heart pounded in his chest. He quickly closed the tab, his hands trembling. "What was that?" he whispered to himself, feeling a mix of guilt and fascination. For the rest of the evening, he couldn't focus on his homework. The images from the video kept replaying in his mind. He tried to push them away, telling himself it was wrong. But the more he tried to forget, the more curious he became. The next day at school, Chidi was completely distracted. He couldn't concentrate in class, and his mind kept wandering back to the video. During lunch, he sat alone at his usual spot in the cafeteria, staring at his phone. Then, without thinking, he opened the browser and typed in the name of the website he had stumbled upon the night before. The page loaded, and there it was. The same thumbnail, the same cryptic title. He hesitated. He knew he shouldn't watch it again, but the memory of the video, the way it made him feel, was strong to resist. He glanced around to make sure no one was watching, then tapped the screen. This time, he watched the entire video. When it ended, he felt a strange mix of emotions: shame, excitement, and a lingering curiosity. He closed the browser and slipped the phone into his pocket, his mind racing. "It's just a video," he told himself. "It's not like I'm doing anything wrong." But deep down, he knew it was something he should avoid. Over the next few days, Chidi's behavior began to change. He spent more time alone in his room, claiming he was studying. His grades, which had been improving, started to slip again. He became irritable and withdrawn, snapping at his parents when they asked how school was going. One evening, Mr. Okonkwo noticed that Chidi hadn't come downstairs for dinner. So he went up to his son's room and found him stamped in his chair, the phone in his hand. "Chidi, dinner is ready," Mr. Okonkwo said, knocking on the door. Chidi jumped, startled. He quickly locked the screen and shoved the phone under his pillow. "I'm not hungry, Dad," he muttered, avoiding his father's gaze. Mr. Okonkwo frowned. "Are you feeling okay? You've been spending a lot of time in here lately." "I'm fine, Dad," Chidi said, his voice sharper than he intended. "I just have a lot of homework." Mr. Okonkwo studied his son for a moment, then nodded. "Alright, but don't stay up too late." When his father left, he pulled the phone out from under the pillow and unlocked it. The video was still paused where he had left off. He stared at the screen, his heart pounding. Just one more. he whispered to himself. Then I'll stop. But he didn't stop. The videos became a secret obsession, a hidden world that only he knew about. And as the days turned into weeks, that world began to consume him. Ada had been Chidi's best friend since they were toddlers. They had grown up together in the same neighborhood, sharing everything from toys to secrets. Ada was sharp and fiercely loyal. She knew Chidi better than anyone, which was why she immediately noticed that something was off. Over the past few weeks, Chidi had become distant. He no longer joined her for their usual after-school soccer games, and he barely spoke to her during lunch. When she tried to talk to him, he gave short, evasive answers. "I'm just busy with homework," he would say, avoiding her gaze. Then one afternoon after school, Ada decided to confront him. "Chidi, what's going on with you?" she asked. "You've been acting weird lately." Chidi hesitated, his eyes darting to the screen before he quickly locked it. "It's nothing, Ada. I've just been busy." Ada wasn't convinced. She had seen the way he clutched the phone like a lifeline, the way his eyes lit up when he thought no one was watching. "Is it your phone?" she asked, her voice softening. "Did something happen?" Chidi's face flashed. "No, Ada. It's not a phone. It's just stuff." Ada reached out and gently took the phone from his hand. Before he could stop her, she unlocked it and opened the browser. Her eyes widened as she saw the history, page after page of adult websites. "Chidi, what is this?" she whispered, her voice trembling. Chidi snatched the phone back, his face red with shame. "It's nothing, Ada. It's just videos." Ada stared at him, her heart pounding. "This is wrong, Chidi. You need to tell your dad." "No!" Chidi snapped, his voice rising. "He'll take the phone away, and I'll lose everything." Ada hesitated. She knew Chidi's dad was strict, and she didn't want to get her friend into trouble. But she also knew this wasn't right. "Fine," she said finally, "but you need to stop watching this stuff." Chidi nodded, but Ada could see the doubt in his eyes. Despite her initial discomfort, Ada could also not stop thinking about what she had seen on Chidi's phone. What was so fascinating about those videos? Why was Chidi so obsessed with them? Her curiosity gnawed at her, growing stronger with each passing day. One afternoon, while visiting Chidi, she finally gave in. "Can I see one?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Just once. I want to understand what's so interesting." Chidi hesitated, his eyes darting to the door. "Are you sure? It's kind of weird." Ada nodded. "I just want to see what it's like." Reluctantly, Chidi agreed. He pulled up a video and handed her the phone. Ada's heart raced as the video began to play. At first, she didn't understand what she was seeing. The images were confusing, even shocking, but as the video went on, she found herself strangely drawn to it. She didn't understand why, but she couldn't look away. When the video ended, she handed the phone back to Chidi. Her face flashed. "That was weird," she finally said, "but I kind of liked it." Chidi grinned, relief. "See? It's not so bad." From that day on, Ada joined Chidi in watching the videos. What started as curiosity quickly turned into a shed of secret. They spent hours together in Chidi's room, glued to his phone, their once innocent friendship now revolving around a hidden world they had discovered. Then one day, Chidi suggested they try doing what they saw in the videos. "It's just curiosity," he said. "We are not hurting anyone." Ada was hesitant. "I don't know, Chidi. This feels wrong." But Chidi insisted. "Come on, Ada. It's just us. No one will know." Reluctantly, Ada agreed. Their first attempt was awkward and uncomfortable. Ada felt a sharp pain and quickly told Chidi to stop. She ran out of the room, tears streaming down her face. For days, she avoided Chidi, feeling ashamed and confused. Chidi felt terrible. He wanted to apologize but didn't know how to. Finally, after several days, he approached Ada at school. "I'm sorry," he said softly. "I shouldn't have pressured you." Ada hesitated before nodding. "It's okay, Chidi. Let's just forget about it." Their friendship slowly returned to normal, but things were never quite the same. Despite her initial reluctance, Ada couldn't shake her curiosity. One afternoon after school, Chidi and Ada decided to stay behind in an empty classroom to try again. They sneaked into the school's restroom, their hearts pounding with fear and anticipation. Just as they were about to start, they heard footsteps approaching. "Someone is coming!" Chidi hissed, grabbing Ada's arm. Panicked, they bolted out of the restroom and hid in different directions. It was the school janitor, but he didn't see them. The close call scared them, but instead of stopping, they became more determined to continue their secret activities at home. One evening, Mr. Okonkwo noticed that Chidi had been spending too much time in his room, so he decided to check on him and found Chidi and Ada huddled together, watching a video on his phone. "What is going on here?" Mr. Okonkwo demanded, his voice filled with anger and disbelief. Chidi and Ada froze, their faces pale with fear. With trembling voices, they confessed everything. Besides, Mr. Okonkwo had already heard the sexual moans coming from the video. They told him about everything, the videos, the curiosity, and their attempts to mimic what they'd seen. Mr. Okonkwo was devastated. He blamed himself for giving Chidi the phone without proper supervision. He called Ada's parents, and the two families had a difficult but necessary conversation. Both families decided to seek professional help for Chidi and Ada. They attended therapy sessions to understand the consequences of their actions and learn about healthy relationships and boundaries. Mr. Okonkwo became more involved in Chidi's life, setting stricter rules for phone use and spending more quality time with him. Ada's parents also became more attentive, creating a more open and trusting environment at home. The experience changed both families. Chidi and Ada's friendship slowly healed, but things were never quite the same. They learned a hard lesson about the dangers of curiosity and the importance of making better choices. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like this. God richly bless you. Catch you in the next video.